to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Things I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there. So don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're going to pay the consequences for that. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody. Literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what HEX has done.
All right, welcome back. Today we have a special guest, and I think you guys are going to like this one. I have the one and only Wales Only. You guys should go to his YouTube channel. Just type in Wales Only HEX, and it should pop up. Here's the channel, what it looks like. And he's probably one of the most influential and important people within the HEX community in this new crypto revolution we're doing here. So, Wales, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us, I don't know, your story with crypto and everything?
Sure, man. Just want to say what's up to everybody that is a follower of yours. This is a long time coming. I guess I got into crypto early days. I just didn't really understand the big picture as well as I got to understand it eventually. So I missed my opportunity back in the day, like a lot of guys. I bought Bitcoin and sold it thinking I had done something special, but I had not, clearly. And now I found HEX and I'm holding on tight. I'm not letting go this time. So that's why I'm here. I've been one of the people to basically study HEX to the point that I don't know anything that it doesn't do. So I understand the whole crypto game and the space and what they're trying to do and what they're not trying to do. And that's what kind of makes me stand out from the rest of the crowd.
Right. So I've known about crypto since 2010, and for everyone who's listening right now, I actually watch Wales Only. And like you guys watch me, I watch him because he actually has, I mean, just great information. You have experience with Wall Street, and I think it really, you could bring the experience from Wall Street over to crypto, and a lot of people can't do that. Like all the gurus, they're just average people, really, who are chilling, pretty much, right?
Yeah, pretty much, man. I mean, it's kind of that's kind of the sad thing. Like I remember early days of crypto, it was a lot of guys that just knew their shit. It wasn't just some randos that were getting paid to pump stuff. So it's a whole different dynamic today versus what it was.
Right. It's
Before.
oversaturated with normies or the average public. So I'm gonna tell you my story. I heard about Bitcoin in 2010 because I was already following. I was in college. I was young, like 19, 20.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I was already like I I was already deep into YouTube, all the conspiracies, everything. I knew about them printing money. My parents actually told me about them printing endless money back in like the 90s. But so that I started watching History Channel, and I self-educated from an early age. And my parents, they escaped communism, and my dad
Mm.
told me the stories because I'm from Hungary, and he escaped, right? So he knows, he lived it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
I got caught up with the libertarian movement, and I was listening to Max Kaiser, Peter Schill, and Peter Schiff actually had a radio show back then, and he was talking to Bitcoiners when Bitcoin was like a fucking dollar, dude.
Yeah, I remember that. He
Yeah,
was saying there was a short at a buck. I remember that.
right.
I don't know if you do.
So you have the story of, I knew about it, but
Yeah,
don't feel bad about it because hypothetically, let's say I was in college and I was just getting out of like basic training and shit, so I had money.
right.
Let's say I went to like BitInstant or something and I bought a bunch of Bitcoin. What have I held until now, anyways?
Yeah, of course not.
No, no way in hell. I'm like, this is like internet money. Yeah, I know they talk about freedom, and Peter Schiff was like, he was very convincing. It's just like eCash back in the '90s or something. So
Right.
even if it's 10x, that would have blown that shit on a spring break. Um,
Of course. But that's the whole thing, right? Like that was the one thing that separates now from then. I think it's just the fact that a lot of us already went through that once go around, right? Where we kind of saw
right.
where we messed up, right? And we kind of saw what became of what we messed up. And look at it now. Like it's really not like the whole space is a joke. It's not anything reputable. There's not been anybody to do anything worthwhile in the space. Like, you've had some Wall Street guys start up funds that buy up supposed digital assets. Like, who cares?
Well,
Right.
I think Wall Street, they can't find that alpha, that return on in a bubble, right? Because the bubble's getting old now. It's a little long in the tooth on Wall Street. So now
Right.
they're coming to crypto, and they're the VCs and everything. But what they're doing is, you know what VCs do? They get to invest early because they're accredited investors, and then they just
Yep.
turn all the clubs' heads. Anyways,
Yep.
let me finish my story because I think you're gonna find it interesting. Um, so I watched Bitcoin for years, right, until like 2015, 16. And when it started hitting like $600, it was getting close to like an ounce of gold. And at back then, I was actually listening because I want you to see the synchronicities and how we're all tied in together, the community. Because I was listening to Rogue Money back then, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and I got into a trading group with one of their guests. His name was Dex the Algo Capitalist, and I was in their trading group, and that's where I was like learning how to trade back in like early 2016. And when a guy came in there, and he started talking about Ethereum, and then I bought Ethereum. I spent not much. I just threw some pocket change at it, but then it started going up, and then I got interested. Then the ICO bubble happened, and then I started listening to Tone Vays, and then Richard popped up. And then Richard was probably the only guy who was actually extremely knowledgeable, and he was willing to say things that other tubers weren't saying. They were like, not gatekeeping, but they wouldn't talk about such in depth with tech knowledge and whatnot
Right.
about what was going on within the space. But yeah, so I invested so I got in on day one. I was even talking about HEX prior to the launch, and I didn't really take it seriously, and I didn't listen to the HEX streamers until
Right.
prior to Big Payday. But I did listen to Richard, and I watched the chart, and me and my private group, we bought all the dips. Well, at least I put it on the alerts. Most of the people didn't, but a lot of people did. And after Big Payday, well, Hexo helped me realize that the price was going to dump right after Big Payday, and that was your big opportunity. And then after that, Kareem was talking about T-shares. I understood what the contract was doing, but I didn't understand T-shares
Yeah.
and how they really function. And then soon after, Gunther the Count came out and actually gave us that data on how much the OA owned. And by then, you do have more confidence within the smart contract, the system, and Richard himself. And that's when I pulled up my FOMO pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just, I mean, look, I feel like I was kind of lucky, right? Because I was kind of looking for it, but a lot of people were around and just didn't take it seriously or just didn't look hard enough or just, just kind of like yourself, just didn't look. You were around, but you just didn't look.
yeah, but I was lucky because my time horizon from watching crypto for the past like 10 years was minimum 2 years, if not three. So whenever I bought dips, I staked it out past 2 years anyways, because I'm like, that's when you're going to see real virality. But you're fucking
Sure.
early. You're early right now. I equate a hex to like $30 Bitcoin, if not less.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
better. So we don't even know where this is going to go, right?
Right, right. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like, that's why I kind of say I'm lucky because when I found Hex, it was kind of right at the perfect time. It wasn't at a top, it wasn't at a low. I just got in like right at the end of November. I rode that top into the 1st of November, or sorry, the end of October. I rode that top into the 1st of November, and then the market started going sideways, and then it sold off into big payday. And by then, that's when I kind of figured out, like, oh, I needed like a long-term stake. I needed all, I kind of figured out some stuff. But even then, you really didn't like even the whole community as a whole didn't really understand T-shares and all that stuff,
No.
even by the time I showed up.
No,
Um,
and
so,
Richard didn't talk about any of that prior to the launch because, no expectations. It's not a security. And the way that
right,
Hex launched really sets it apart from anything else in crypto. It's literally, it's like a decentralized launch, just like Bitcoin. So we're good
yeah,
on that. But listen, a lot of people think I'm a dick, and I kind of am, but it is what it is. I'm gonna be real, man. I had to I didn't talk about Hex, but I kept buying for a while. And that was because I wanted the dumbasses who were in early to give up their bags because I don't want them dumping at higher prices.
right,
Like we just saw, like the price ran up to 50 cents. We still have whales or mini whales, whatever, like squid dumping millions. They've got to be out of their minds. Like they don't know what's going on, right?
right,
So I didn't want to come out and help people stay in longer and then be dumping at higher prices because in the end, this is what markets do. They take money from impatient people and, let's say, less intelligent, and they reward the ones who are smart, who will hold for the extremely long term. And at some point, it's unfair because the rich don't need to sell, right? They don't need to buy a house, a new house, or whatever. But at the same time, they're in it for the long haul and essentially power.
right.
So,
I mean, it's the fastest appreciating asset, right? I mean, it really is that. And, regardless of how little or how much you put in, your ROI is going to be commensurate with the performance of the product. It's not going to really matter, how much you put in. You're still going to make a shit ton of money relative to what you put in.
right. I mean, people think they're late.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, Hex has outperformed Bitcoin's and Ethereum's first 2 years, but that that doesn't mean it's not going to continue to do that, right?
Right.
So
I mean, people don't really. I mean, check this out, because people really don't think, right? I mean, we all know this. People really don't think, and it's this crazy. We have something that forces you to buy more of that thing that you want, right? So what do I mean? Well, there's this thing called a T-share, right? And that T-share is something that you need in order to earn yield, right? So if you're trying to buy HEX and stake it, guess what? You need to get T-shares. And that means you have to buy X amount of HEX just for one T-share. No questions asked. So if that's the cutoff, if that's the threshold, right, then what does it mean? Well, what it means is that over time, the market is forcing the market participants to buy more HEX, always and forever. So as long as you understand that, you can't lose, because you're going to own an asset that has to appreciate in value. Has to.
right, and people need to understand this. The whole world and all of the financial markets cannot find yield anywhere in the world. And the
Nope.
only place they could find yield like this, which is truly decentralized, doesn't have admin keys, and can't get rug pulled, is HEX. And that is
Literally.
why they will constantly, forever chase T-shirts. And man, we haven't even talked about encapsulated, what's coming up with that. I think you're better at explaining that than I am. Man, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
All right, so like I want to ask you, but I don't want to put you on the spot or anything. I know you're working on something, but we can't really talk about it. But let's just say, hypothetically, someday in the future, if there is an on ramp for institutional investors, right? And
Uh-huh.
plus with Pulsechain launching, plus with that, so you've got capital flows coming in from the rest of crypto. Then you have capital flows coming in from possibly the legacy financial system. And
Yeah.
now you've got Pulse Swap, which would be the bridge. I mean, I don't think you could fathom the possibilities of what we're about to experience next year. It's
I don't think so.
dude, I'm kind of like scared.
Yeah,
No,
it's kind of crazy.
yeah,
It's kind of crazy. I mean, even the stuff I'm working on by myself, right, is kind of crazy. Like I'm involved in a few things that are going to lead to even bigger things, not just for HEX, but for everybody's bags, because it's about pumping everybody. Anything I'm involved in is about pumping people's bags. So that's number one. So and everything that we think of is surrounding pumping people's bags, because as you guys know, my 90% of my T-shares are for the max duration. So I'm holding on tight, right?
right.
So I understand like exactly what the moves are, right? Because I understand how to play the game. So
All right.
all of the,
I have a
oh,
question.
go ahead.
With encapsulated T-shares, whatever you have on the Ethereum HEX side right now, right?
hmm
Can you transfer that to the encapsulated, or you have to make new stake?
So the encapsulated stuff, all of that is gonna have to be new stakes. And just so we're clear, I'm not actually working on that stuff. That's Firebun and Steph that are working on that. But I do know that that you cannot um, move any existing stakes over to the encapsulated side. It has to all be new stakes.
All right, that sucks, but it is what it is. It just has to be that way because
It does.
you can't change the contract. And that's what makes it
No,
right.
correct. Yeah, the only thing you can do is if you have a stake presently on, like if you have all your stakes on individual wallets, then you're already good. Your stakes are basically encapsulated already. It's just a matter of you being able to transfer that and the person that you're transferring it to trusting you.
Right.
So
All right. So I want to help the community because I got a lot of people who are should be taking this seriously and looking into it. Are you involved with the Mountain Capital thing?
oh, Mount Crypto Advisors, yes I am.
All right. So guys, they're gonna be coming after us. That's for sure. The bigger we grow and the more powerful, right?
Yeah.
Their plan is to take everything you own and then kill you, right? um,
Yeah,
no joke.
literally.
So
No, that's literal,
I,
yeah.
I've personally, for that reason, never really cashed out of crypto because I know as soon as a decent amount, and when I mean decent amount, it's not even that much, like 5, 10 grand. They're already looking into your shit, guys. Like thanks to the Patriot Act, right? They'll look at your
Yeah.
account. So I'll talk more about that, and when you guys talk a little bit more about that, or unless you want to talk about it now, how you guys could possibly help.
Well, we can talk about it now because what's this is I could tell you what's gonna happen because by the time you release this, it might have already happened by now. It won't matter. But here's the thing. Uh, it's basically a solution that we built for Hexagons because we needed it. And it's something that everybody wants to not have any issues as far as estate planning or tax planning or whatever have you. Um, and you want to also set yourself up with some fiat side stability, right? Like you already have generated wealth for yourself. It's time to learn how to use that wealth to give yourself the life that you want, right? So this is basically a project between a whole lot of us Hexagons that are already, and we're gonna actually do like a breakout stream to kind of introduce this to the community because again, it's a product for the community by members of the community.
Right.
We're gonna do a breakout stream to basically make everybody aware of what it is, what it's for, how everybody can benefit, and as of now, it is only for U.S. taxpayers, but we are presently working on an avenue for worldwide customer base. So just to put that out there, because it does matter. Everything has to be tidied up, and everything has to be buttoned down.
Yep.
Because as you just alluded to, right, they're gonna come. It's just a matter of having your defenses ready when they do come.
Yeah, they just pretty much made 80,000 more websites. So
Right, that's their goal. Yeah,
yeah.
that they haven't passed it yet, but they want to. But it's not looking good. It's not looking good because it's not realistic.
Honestly,
It's
man,
just,
I'm hoping by the time in a couple years the whole damn system's gonna fall apart.
well, you laugh, but it's very highly probable, right? Like if we're paying attention to what's happening, like
But I'm
with the
saying they're not gonna be able to enforce jack shit in the end.
yeah, I don't like
They're
look if
destroying themselves. If you I don't
yeah.
know if you just saw, but the WEF, the World Economic Forum, just put out. They just announced that they're doing the Great Reset. Like,
Yeah, they always announce. They've always announced it though.
right? But
And the thing is if you're paying attention, you're seeing exactly what's going on behind the scenes because everything that they put in front of you is just noise.
well, they have to tell you before they do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that too. But I'm just saying that besides that, that's really just noise. Because at the end of the day, all they have is noise. I mean, think about it. What what
It's psychological.
yeah, it's all psyops really
No,
because
it
they're
really
not
is. And
yeah.
I'm not really pissed at the corrupt psychopaths. That's what they do. That's their job.
Right.
They're
It's our people, right? The people that are supposed to be the little guy.
well, it's the tales of empires, right? Strong men create good times create soft men, and then the cycle repeats. Good men create the hard times. and they know that they have they're running algos on all social media, on all the internet. They can see what everyone's doing, and they can see that people are soft. So they're like, it's time to attack. It's time to take control, grab as much power and money as possible as the whole. Here's the thing: the entire system is a giant Ponzi scheme. It's legit. The global economy is a giant Ponzi scheme, and they know that, and they know it's failing now. So, in their
Right.
desperate attempt to keep power, they're literally not only getting rid of a lot of people, but getting as much control as humanly possible with social credit systems and everything and all that, right? And trying to
Yep.
take your wealth away because if there's no middle class, you have no resources to fight back, right? So,
Right.
but on more of a larger psyop, like crazy spiritual wavelength thing, I just want to say this. I view them as a natural predator for humanity because humanity does not have a predator to weed out the thin, right?
It doesn't seem like it.
So there's different like breakaway civilizations. There's your normies, and then you have your brainwashed people who've fallen, who've been brainwashed since their early age. Maybe it's a little genetics, I don't know, but and then you have us, right? The entrepreneurs, the go-getters. We're like the sheepdog, and then you have the ruling class, who essentially they have no morals or standards. They will do anything for power and money because the most addicting drug in the world is power. So they act as a natural predator within the cycles of humanity, and I believe it's kind of like God set this up, believe it or not. So in the end, it is God's like plan, but the problem is, we got to go through a lot of horrifying shit. I've have family members and whatnot who've fallen victim to this. So you guys need to keep your heads on straight and not mentally break because that's what this is. This is demoralization, right?
100%. 100% what it is. I mean, look at what they do, right? It's an everyday onslaught of nonsense, literally.
Right. Like I feel like maybe I'm enabling it by showing everyone. And I know you put in all the smiley faces to show everyone that you're laughing at them. And I get what you're doing. You know, I get it. But that's why I'm having you on the stream. You're a good guy. You're in this for the right reasons. We're here to help the average people, and people need to realize that Richard and Hex and all this is the best shot we've got. So we gotta just keep
Yeah,
moving forward.
literally. It literally is. Because the fact of the matter is that when you sit here and look at what man has been subjected to throughout history, it's simple matter of fact that we've never had an opportunity to be able to say, fuck off. We really have never had that opportunity. Not in this sense, right? Where we can sit here and literally be like, just fuck off. We're not doing anything that you're saying, and we don't have to because we have our own means of exchanging value, which is something that people can actually come to an agreement on, right? You don't need some third party to tell you what you find valuable and what you don't. You can tell whoever, right, what you think is valuable and what you don't. Like that can be determined in the marketplace, and it exists. So we essentially don't really need government, right? Like we do this to ourselves in a lot of instances, and it just takes understanding. And for a lot of people, man, that's a lot.
Well, people need to take self responsibility, and they've been purposely taught not to do that. Everyone's compartmentalized to become
Correct.
the cog in the corporate machine, right?
Yeah.
That's all they taught us in school, like in college especially. But people need to realize that Hex empowers you. It also creates you a savings. which outpaces inflation, which gives you options and opportunities to help yourself build businesses and do what now, right?
Right.
They don't want that. They want you in the meta, man. Like
Yeah.
what's that Wall-E movie? You're gonna be in a pod, like just a big fat blob.
You know, I've been hearing people talking about that damn movie. I've never seen it.
Oh, dude, it's trippy as shit. It's old, and I watched it on a flight to Europe, and I got off that plane, man, and I'm like, man, that movie or that cartoon, it was kind of deep, and I'm like, I
Wow.
really hope we don't end up like that. But here we go. It's 2021 now. It's like 10 years later. We got Gates buying up all the farmland, creating cricket farms for you guys.
Oh man, what I love about these guys is how they can see the future so well. That's what I love about them the best. Have you noticed that? How they can see the future so well? Like they're just spot on every time. It's incredible.
Listen, man, I've talked to some high level people, and maybe you have too, like in the military. Um, listen, when the ship is really sinking and falling apart, it's everyone out for themselves in the end. They'll throw each other right off
Yeah.
under the bus.
Oh hell yeah.
Listen,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
this is the snake eating itself. That's all it is. I do
Forest, forest.
I do want to say one thing though. Like we're talking a lot of shit right now, and I'm kind of worried about that. I no, I mean for real. Like I want like escape velocity virality, where there's millions of us stake, because at that point it's game over. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right.
I don't have to worry about the on and off ramps, but I still think we're good, right? What do you think?
Yeah. I think we're good in the sense that man, people don't really even know crypto exists. Like if there's one thing I've learned from what Crypto Sparbuck is doing with the world tour is that people just don't know crypto exists. Like that is a big issue within itself. So we need to start at the very low level, turns out. I mean, we're in so deep that we don't even realize how how deep in it we are.
Right, we're like a different language to an average
Yeah,
person. They have no idea what we're talking about. They don't even know how the
correct.
world works, but and that's
Yeah,
sad. That's unfortunate. But you know
yeah.
what? They do know number go up, and that's all that
All
matters.
right, all
They
right.
do.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, right. And there's a lot of Hexicans with supercars out there, and there's gonna be more as the price goes up. Trust me.
Correct,
And
correct.
I,
Hey, I already got my supercar picked out. Don't get me twisted.
yeah,
I'm get one. I got to get one too, just like everybody else.
dude, you gotta live a little, man. I love cars. I
Right,
love cars.
right. I love cars too. I mean, that was one of the first things that I found attachment to outside of sports that gave me like a little break from that shit. Because I used to be one of those kids. I was just, sports, sports, sports. So, yeah.
Same here. I play football. I don't know what they do today, but I don't want to get into it because I might get put down because I'll start ranting.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Everyone knows the degeneracy. It's just Tales of Empires, guys. Don't worry.
Correct.
The pendulum will swing. It's gonna swing hard as fuck.
Right. Well, what's cool is that we're at the beginning of the momentum.
Right.
That's what I feel anyway. When we look back on our lives, and because we've been around long enough. Like I was born in '84. We've been around long enough to see.
I'm literally your age. We've seen
There you go.
the times of no cell phones and playing outside until like 11 at night.
Or longer.
My parents beat the shit out of me. I was not a good kid. I was out every night, skateboarding, BMXing. I had a real childhood. I used to blow shit up with fireworks at like age 10.
Yes. It was good. It was good.
Great. It was fucking great. And by the way, I grew up in every ghetto, man. Like straight up hood to like Jewish marble mansions to like out in the country. I've lived in the city. I've seen it all, so I got lucky because of that. Because
that is unfortunate, yeah.
Because I was an immigrant and we had to climb up from nothing. Like we lived in a basement of a church, and then went all the way up the totem pole. But anyway, what did I want to say? Oh, this is important. Um, I we need to make we need escape fucking velocity for HEX, and I'm pretty sure Pulsechain will do that and the things you guys are working on. But like in the near future, I'm waiting for higher prices. Plus, I'm like 98% stake. Um, I do want to like if you guys could start like a fundraiser, right? So we all throw in maybe 10 grand to do something, go to a golf course, something, right, like that, right?
Yeah.
And then
You know, it's interesting. I've always said, like, man, if Hexagons wanted, they could crowdsource a whole bunch of shit because we're pretty good at that, actually.
right,
Just crowdsourcing a whole bunch of like advertising campaigns.
I want
But
to
you know,
do
then
a billboard in
right,
every major city, and we could do that if we want.
we could do that. We could do that. And we have the wherewithal to do it. Interestingly enough, I just think people are just so, fuck offish that they'll just be like, no, somebody, has to want to do that. They
Well,
can't be like
that's why
somebody doing it. You know
well
what I
that's
mean?
why I'm saying there needs to be an incentive to do it, right? So maybe
Shit. But that's
fundraiser.
the thing. The incentive should be getting your own backs pumped. That is the
Yeah,
incentive.
well, people, man.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. That's why I mean, I don't.
Dude, if the last 2 years hasn't taught you something, most people are just fucking gone. What I think is they're just cowards. All right, that's what it is. They're just
Yo,
scared.
look, man.
They're too comfortable.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny, bro? Before that, I had broken up with this girl. Like I had completely fucked it up. And dude, even after all of that, all 2020 taught her was like, yo, I am a man. Like I'm the guy she wants to be with because of how fucked everything is. Like, shit is bad when an ex wants you bad enough, even though you fucked up.
Oh well, that's because there's no men left. That's
Yeah,
why.
that's bad, bro. That's bad.
Well, that's good for
That's
us.
crazy. Well, right. But that's not the point. I'm just saying, man.
All right, man. I mean, when I was young, the only reason I'm not like stupid fucking rich is because in my 20s all I did was party. Like I went to the club like 3 days a week. It was bad. It was bad. And like I watched how the culture was changing slowly. And man, did we have a good time in our early 20s and even our teens.
Yeah.
It was like I feel bad for the guys these days because they took that away from them. They took it away from the women too. Women
Yeah,
were
it's a word from everybody.
men were happy. We're all having a great time, man. But those good times, I do believe, led to the good times lead to weak men and the bad times. But
I guess, man.
I
I
guess
don't know. I think there's some confusion there. Not on anybody's fault, just on the way things are. Cause I mean, we have fun. We sound like some pretty respectable, responsible guys. I don't think, it had to be anything like this. I just think that the majority of people just are incentivized not to care, man. And that's what I think leads to what we have now. I mean, we got a bunch of people that just don't care. Right? Even in Hex, you got people that don't care. They think
well,
they can just,
you know
you
what?
know,
They're gonna care. They're gonna care.
they're gonna care, sure, but they don't realize that they need to.
Well,
They think,
they need to realize what's happening here. And
well, that's the thing. They're gonna realize eventually.
you know what? I talked about this. There is this thing called self sabotage. So if you don't love yourself and you don't respect yourself, you will self sabotage yourself subconsciously.
100%.
That's what happens to lottery winners.
Yeah, I've done it to myself a lot throughout my life, so I've already experienced that.
Yeah, I've done it too. And when I think once you've been through a lot of shit in life, that's when you're like, you know what, I deserve this,
Yep.
and then you'll do the right things. So
Yep.
it's a learning curve for everyone, life and all this. But
100% agree, man. I mean, it's probably one of the most important lessons I've learned. Is to just take my licks and keep on ticking. Just don't be a sore loser. right? Just respect the game because the game doesn't care. It's just the game.
Right. Dude, I've been rug pulled in crypto. Cryptopia took over like 60% of all my gains, and I got out at the top in 2017, beginning of 18. I was listening to Richard, and but
Yeah,
I got rug pulled. I was becoming a degenerate gambler. That's what crypto does to you.
right.
The ICO hopping, I did really good with that. Dude, hilarious, man. I was a whale in Veritasium.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because the Bix Weir was talking about, oh, Silver the Antidote. I went in his Slack when there was like a bunch of FUD with Populous. I was a big holder of Populous back then too. But it doesn't matter in the end because you know what happened in 2018? I got rug pulled. I became greedy because once I got rug pulled, I'm like, I need to make this back. So
Yeah.
I go on Bybit, get scam wicked up and down, just like Richard says. They basically just stole all my money.
Damn.
And yeah, just a bunch of exchanges, rugging and this and that, and a lot of projects, just rug. So, but a lot.
Nature, man.
So then I just took whatever was left, and I'm like, I'm just going and I'm just going with Richard. If Richard's the last thing I
Oh,
trust and in crypto. If this doesn't work out with Richard, I'm done with crypto. Fucking.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's crazy, right? Because crypto is supposed to be something that's straightforward, not something that's full of all these black holes and gray areas and all of this nonsense. And that's just what we run into, right? Because the world is just built like that now. And it just so happens that we become so morally decrepit that we need some fucking third party in the way so that people don't misbehave. I mean, that's what I call deplorable behavior, right? Where people feel that they need some fucking uncle and some fucking grandma to tell them what the fuck to do because they can't act straight or they can't act right. I
Well,
mean, this is what the world has become.
well, that's the psyop, though, right?
Right.
I do, I do think most people are followers. They are,
100%.
and they don't want to take self responsibility. And I don't know what it is exactly, but everyone kind of does need a leader. It's just that and that's how they trick people with the TVs in your cell phone. People see that on the TV and the cell phone, and they think that's normal, and then they get what is it, reassured when they go to school because those people feed off the system as well, and it perpetuates into a false reality.
Right.
But I do think a lot of people have woken up in the past 2 years. The people we can't save, I think they're not, honestly, man, they're not long for this world anyways. You know.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're not. I've already come to terms with that. I mean,
Yeah. You just
if you
have
look
to.
at what's happening nowadays, a lot of those people are kind of doing our dirty work for us, unfortunately.
Right.
Sad but true. Because I mean, how many times can you explain basic things to people? You can only do it but so often,
Well,
right?
I've been doing it all my life, and it takes a lot out of you. Like even with my friends, even family, it takes years and years to what do you want to call it, red pill or whatever. And
Yeah.
some people have to see it for themselves, and they have to get burned before they actually listen and they come around. And some people just never come around, and there's nothing you could do about it. You can't beat yourself up over it. You just do your best. You do you, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the funny thing, right? We're raised to think that there is such a thing as competition, right? When the only real competition is you versus you.
No, that's true. It really is. It is you versus you. You
Yeah.
change your mindset, everything starts going your way, and you
Yep.
change the world. Like I came from nothing, and here we are, right? We're
Yeah.
literally changing the world.
Yeah.
And people, everyone listening to us right now, you are a part of this. You can change the world. You just have to try and keep going.
That's it. Yeah, literally. I mean, it's funny because I didn't understand it until I became a part of it, and it's just about finding your place in that game, and that's it. That's literally it. I mean, once you do that, you're done. You don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So,
kind of things just fall into place.
so what do you think of PulseX? I haven't talked about it yet. What do you think of
Uh,
it?
I think it's just gonna be probably like most other swaps, right? Most other dexes. Um, except for that, the tokenomics are probably going to be superior based on the creator because he's just good at game theory.
Right. And it's again deflationary, and it is kind of a money printer, especially the first possible year. Extremely
Yeah,
lucrative, as the NFT market will come over. I believe it will. It has to. And
yeah,
you
it
know,
kind of has.
right. You know how much capital flow is going to come over. You know how much attention we're going to get. It's going to be unreal. And
Yeah,
you could sacrifice for PulseX. Sorry, and then you could do LP function. I don't like doing any of this stuff. I really just like buying HEX and chilling. It's amazing. I've been trading for like a decade, dude, and it's not what it's out to make. It's not what it's made out to be, right?
yeah, it's not.
It's really a
I've
patience game. It's not like
been doing it just as long as you. Been doing it just as long as you, and that's why Hex is. That's one of the things that helped me really appreciate how superior Hex is, man. Because if you're not out there taking hits and licks, you're not gonna really know what it's like. Making money is fun, but keeping it is hard.
you're not gonna appreciate it until you pay your dues.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. For some, yeah,
constantly trading is it's it is stressful. I mean, you get used to it and it's not, but at the same time, it's like it's a grind, man. You can't do it all your life. I mean, and constantly be profitable. You're gonna have years where you're just not profitable. You're only losing money. It is what it is, you know.
yeah.
And Hex is doing everything for you while you sleep. Like, I don't understand how it's hard for people to understand this. I guess people just don't. They don't have patience. They want Lambo tomorrow. There's no such
Yeah,
thing. There's no such thing. Hex is the fastest you're ever gonna get rich, though. That's for sure. And they
yeah.
don't get it, you know, because they're
Oh.
scared to lock up. But it is what it is.
It's wild funny because there's always people trying to come at me to talk to me about why I don't talk about speculation. And it's like, yo, speculation is not for everybody. Just because you're doing all right, don't mean everybody else is going to be doing all right. It's wild as fuck to me that some people just don't get that, but yet they call themselves speculators.
No, trading is not. Dude, what are the statistics? It's like 90 to 95% of people lose money trading.
Correct. Correct.
Only a small percentage make it. And that small percentage, man, is it hard. And
Yeah.
that small percentage has been in the game for a very long time. They also have money to do it. You have to understand that, right? So
Correct.
when you have money, it's less emotional. And you could do more, you could have better strategy with position sizing. And the little guy can't do that. They essentially
Nope.
have to get lucky. And once they get lucky, they have to have the discipline to not trade a large percentage of their stack. Because if they do, they're just gonna get wrecked. All you need is one bad week and you could just lose everything, you know?
Everything. Yeah. I mean, it can happen that quick.
Oh
Literally.
yeah. You get in a bad mindset, and I've been through it. You get in a bad mindset and you will
That's
wreck
it.
yourself. You'll even know you're wrecking yourself and you'll continue to wreck yourself, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's that simple. It's it's crazy as it sounds. It's literally that simple,
It's
man.
hard to override your monkey brain, the
Yeah.
stem of your brain. But what is it? But Hex tricks you into becoming rich because you lock it up and you can't really get out. So
Yeah, I mean, it's the best thing because you already know, like, if you've been trading for a while and you've been learning how to make money, well, then you know what it takes to make money. If you learn how to lose money, then you know what it takes to make money, right? And that is literally sitting on your hands. Literally, there is
right,
nothing else.
you make the most money doing nothing most of the time.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing.
You just wait for the trade to come to you.
Yeah,
There's
that's
so
it.
many people like I've in my chats and everything who it doesn't matter what's going on, they're forcing trades like every day.
That's
They
right.
can't help themselves. It's like they think the harder they work, the more money they're gonna make. No, the more trades and the more speculation you do, the more the odds go against you. The odds are you're gonna make a mistake. The more moves you make, right?
Yep, decision fatigue and all of that. 100%. 100%. Because it's exactly how it works.
Right. All right,
I
man.
mean,
So
it's not everybody that can just make an infinite amount of decisions every single day. You know, everybody can't do that. And that's what traders have to do successfully, decision in, decision out. Right?
you know what? In Hex, all you have to do is buy, stake, and tell everyone about it, so they know
That's
it
it.
exists.
And, and that's if you want your bag, your T-share bag to get diluted.
Well, here's the thing. I am more on the side of let's get to escape velocity. Like I want to see 1,000,000 stake
Yeah,
because
sure.
because
I
at
get
that
it.
point we are extremely, extremely like wealthy and
I get it.
there ain't no
It's,
stopping
it's a
us.
process, it's not going to happen just because.
Yeah, I understand. You do need the ebb and flow. You do need the
Yeah.
cycles. You do need the corrections to weed out the right people and the right people to stay in. I get it.
Yeah, because it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody,
Right.
and
But the
a
only
lot of people.
let me tell you, the
Oh,
only reason I feel like this is because of the outside world we're living in.
well, I mean, I don't agree. I don't disagree because at the end of the day, we actually want prices to go up fast, right? If we want to achieve, like, the quicker price goes up, the quicker we can achieve our goals, right? So if we want to quash the BS sooner rather than later, well, we need this money sooner rather than later, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just,
Because they're
you know,
moving quick. They're moving quick, man.
mm. Well, they're moving quick because they have to, brother. Time is
Yeah.
running out.
I do see it as a death throw. Like
Yeah, it's a Hail Mary on their part.
it is. Oh, it is. It's
Mhm.
pretty impressive. I won't lie. But
I mean, they're offering money again in New York City just so people can get the boost.
well, if
So
people who take it for $100, I mean, I should I feel sorry for
no, 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 not at all. Not at all.
I'm at the point where, come on, man. If you don't see it by now, then what value are you adding to humanity? And I'm not on the
Yeah.
side of the ruling class. I'm not, but I do see where they're coming from in a way.
Yeah, well, at this point, it's pretty damn obvious.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't see it at this point, then you're, I guess you're deciding to not be with us anymore because
Correct.
you're so scared or you're lying to yourself at such levels that you are a detriment to the rest of us.
Yep. Literally. That's literally where we're at. We're at a point in
By the
time
way,
where there is no more time for niceties, and
by the way,
unfortunately.
let me say this: they planned this shit. They in Zero Hedge had an article in like September, October 2019, already saying that they were meeting up there in that location. I don't want to say keywords, and
Yeah, yeah. I already know.
I
We're
actually,
we're
yeah, I
we're
appreciate
on the
it.
same
I have
page.
you've been, yeah, and I knew it. Well, I didn't take the article too seriously, but then I started seeing videos coming out of China, and they scared the
Yeah.
shit out of me. They really did. You should see. I'll send you the video, dude. It looks ridiculous now, but they're welding people in houses. People are dropping off the streets. Dude, it was wild. I'm like, if China actually closes down their entire economy, then maybe this really is that dangerous, right?
Right, but we know that never happens. So
Well, something did come out. I've gotten it, but it's not that dangerous. They're not going to release something that dangerous because they'll get it too, But
I think what it's been an okie doke, and what I mean by that is it was a a trap, right? A trap to get people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. And what's that? Randomly get an unapproved fucking jab.
Right. No, it was totally planned. But what I'm talking about is it's not just control and to weed out the herd. It was also timed perfectly because if you remember in 2019, the whatchamacallit market, you've talked about, you made a whole video on it. The swap, the
repo.
yeah, the repo market was going
Ape shit.
Yeah, and that was signaling the crash of the entire bubble. So they needed the perfect excuse to print trillions and trillions and trillions. And that's why they did it, I believe. That was the main reason, right? Well, after that, they also need control and everything else that they're doing right now, right?
I mean, look at what they did with Bitcoin, right? It used to be decentralized and it no longer is.
Right. Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna say it right now. They in 2018, I thought they were gonna come after it, shut it all down. They were deleting YouTube channels, crypto YouTube channels. I deleted every single one of my crypto videos because I thought they were gonna nuke my channel and I thought they were coming after it. And I believe that they scared everyone out of the market. They bought up a lot of the supply. And I believe that they're letting Bitcoin and Ethereum go because it's not a threat. It's really not a threat.
Well, I suppose you're right. People don't view it as that much of a threat.
Not anymore.
No. It's been around long enough for it to have done something and it's done nothing.
I think it enables them to bring in their own centralized crypto, right?
Well, I mean, they've already done it in my mind. I think
USDC is it.
Mm-hmm. I think that their ability to interject themselves into the system has already been accomplished because they've already can pump, right, a lot of the things that they shouldn't be able to pump. So I think mission is accomplished on their end.
What, you mean
because
Dogecoin? Are you telling me that's not a good fundamental?
Yeah, I mean my point exactly. There's a lot of crap out there that just shouldn't exist that does, right? Like how many different crap coins do we need?
Well, that's the free market. It is. A lot of people.
Is it really? Is it really? Because they sure as hell promote that.
Okay, so whatever they promote, like the big known people like Musk and everyone, and they do that as a diversion, and I also believe it does act somewhat deflationary. So they sucker in a lot of the millennials into crypto.
Well, you got to realize
that are like Wall Street bets and all that. That I believe that's like a honeypot. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, for sure. That's all bullshit.
Right, and then they suck in the average normies into certain coins, and then they pump it. They take their money and dump it, and this way, psychologically, it breaks them to hate the free market and to hate crypto and to hate everything, essentially, right?
Well, I mean, there's no free market, right? So let's be straight with that. There is no free markets.
No.
There isn't.
Well, in
because
2017, it felt like it, though. I mean, that was.
Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't, because all you had was a proliferation of bullshit. That's all you had in 2017.
Right.
I mean, you gotta understand, man.
That's what comes with it.
No, that's not what comes with it. What comes with it is what people allow, right? And people at that point in time were not educated enough. This is why we have 2021.
Well, right.
Like,
Well, I view it as the .com bubble. Like,
well,
this is
that's a function of ignorance, bro. Right? Like,
No,
let's be honest.
X is Amazon coming out of the .com bubble.
Mm, I would say yes and no, and I'll say no because nobody was trying to shut Amazon down back in those days, but they sure as hell are trying to shut HEX down.
Yeah. Well, right.
Yeah, very much right. Yeah. I mean, the things we're doing, they're major league. You
Right.
know, nobody's expecting this, and this is,
Actually,
you know,
the gatekeeping. I mean, you're right. The gatekeeping, right? It
yeah,
makes no sense. Even with Pulsechain, makes no sense.
right,
That means
correct.
there's forces out there who are worried and they're keeping us. But I mean, I view it as like CZ, honestly, because he knows the entire crypto market can't compete with us. So, and by the way,
Yeah.
the Furus will go away. They'll disappear. There will be no.
Oh, they don't even matter, bro. They don't even matter because every time there's a dip, they end up seeing the one green thing on the fucking coin market crap list. They always find that one green thing, right?
Right.
Always.
Man,
So,
I can't wait for Pulsechain. Dude, this army is gonna be everywhere. They're not gonna be able to go anywhere on social media, anywhere. There'll be a Pulsechain or a Hexagon or a Richard Maxi. Everyone gets
right, a Richard Maxey, yeah,
man,
Richard Maxey.
I can't wait for it. It's already happening, but
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Pulsechain is gonna blow it up, right? And I
right.
think that PulseX is gonna give a lot of people that didn't get the chance to sack, and for Pulsechain, the ability to sack for something else that Richard Hart is creating, that people just understand, you know, that he just builds them well, right? And it's just because he builds them well is that they do well, and that's all you really need to understand. So, you know, it's just simple mathematics, right? And if you look at how Pulsechain is going to be, is going to have its tokenomics function, it sounds like the tokenomics for PulseX are going to be similar in that the coin itself is going to be the value mechanism for its own derivation, right? So if you look at Pulsechain, you're going to have the network burn a quarter of the fees and it's going to pay out in that same coin. So in order for you to earn more Pulsechain, which there's only X amount of Pulsechain being made, right? So all these coins are going to be cycled through the system, and you're only going to be able to get but X amount, right? Because you're gonna.
It's highly deflationary. Like,
Correct. Yeah.
do you have any idea? I know it's not even launched. Like, how deflationary are we looking at?
Well, as of right now, we have a fairly solid estimate of 135 trillion coins, I think it is. And that's all in, right? Like everything.
Right.
And after that, you know,
OA will own probably a lot of that.
yeah. But the thing is this is the thing. You're gonna have what's in everybody's wallets, and that's it.
That's it. And it's deflationary on top of that.
Well, that's it. That's what I mean. Right? Like,
as everyone transacts, it takes 25% away. It burns
right. 25% of the fee of the transaction.
right. Of the fee. But over a long period of time, that adds up a lot.
Oh yeah. No.
So
Yes, of course.
The supply, will it overall be dwindling with time?
Well, check it. We know that there's so I don't know if you've watched Richard Hart's most recent interviews, like with Kinetics and Hexo in the UK, where he really goes into some really good detail about what's going to happen once things go live. Because now we're going to have the DEX, so there's going to be a bridge, right? And whenever everything goes live, you're going to have the automatic market makers, the fixer bots are going to come in and basically normalize prices. So for those of us that thought that there was going to be cheap HEX, there's not
Right. And on both chains.
on both chains, right?
And
Because there's going to be
so are all of the PRC20s across the board essentially going to find value as soon as
correct,
Pulse finds value?
correct. Because what's going to happen is that, and Richard sent a tweet out actually, I think it was Saturday or Sunday about this, where what's going to happen is that the liquidity that's going to be copied over to Pulsechain is going to be harvested by the bots. And what that means is that if those LPs want their PRCs back, they're going to have to sell their Pulse
See,
for.
that's the part I don't understand. If they want it back, oh,
Yeah, because the bot is harvesting it, meaning it's taking that and giving them the Pulsechain coin.
so people holding Pulse Swap or PulseX tokens,
Right.
they're harvesting Pulse,
PulseX.
PulseX.
The bot.
The automated market maker
Correct.
is harvesting Pulse. What happens with that Pulse then? Where does that go?
That just becomes part of the liquidity.
Okay, it becomes part of the liquidity.
Yeah. Right, because it's taking a copy of what already exists in the liquidity pool, replicating it over here, and that's all. So now instead of having PRC and PulseX, or I'm sorry, Ethereum and whatever that other coin is, now it has the PRC and PulseX, right, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just replicating the other side.
Right. But
I know
so
it's a little confusing. It's a little confusing.
well, the liquidity from, let's say, if you wanted to swap an Ethereum ERC20 with a Pulse PRC20, right?
Yeah,
That
you would need the
bond,
bridge.
you need the PulseX bridge, and that bonding, the trading between the two, gives Pulse PRCs value.
Correct.
The ratio we don't know yet, and I think it'll probably take some time for it to level out. Maybe, dude, it'd be nuts if it went to parity. It'd be nuts. But
Well, I mean,
I don't think it will. But
you gotta think about it. If there's gonna be a bridge, how long can an ARB last?
well, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. That's for sure.
And also the stables. That's a huge I
Right.
feel like that could be a possible carpet ride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Because let's not forget, we've sacrificed a lot for Pulsechain, and now we're gonna do even more for PulseX. And
Yeah, I
I
think
believe,
PulseX is pretty big.
and I believe all of everything we sacrifice besides HEX turns into stable, right? And
I think so, but I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not sure either, right? I thought it did. It should. I don't know. Also, another pumpamental was a lot of people are sacrificing HEX for PulseX now as well, taking even
Yeah.
more liquid. Like the order book of HEX is gonna be like $1 million pretty soon. Maybe more.
Right.
That's why I've said in previous videos, I'm like, guys, when Pulsechain's live, $10 HEX is very possible, I believe.
Well, not out of the realm of possibility, that's for sure.
Right. All right, man.
I mean,
I don't want to keep you too long. I don't know if you're getting tired or I'm taking up a lot of your time.
no worries, brother. We can chat.
So,
Go ahead.
No. I thought you were gonna say something.
Well, I was just gonna say that you can't just turn off something that's this good, and that's something that I'm sitting here having conversations with people that talk to regulators, and they even have a hard time, understanding what's going on here. because it's just not normal.
It should be easy for them though. It should.
Not.
I think it's the decentralized aspect of it. Like, how is this APY possible? That's why this is a new
Yeah.
invention, and it's hard for people to understand new invention. Essentially,
Correct. It is. It is very different.
you know why we're gonna be like super successful. You wanna know why? At the end of the day, greed rules everything. It just does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, when people come to figure this thing out and realize that it's real, oh man, this game over. Especially with Pulsechain giving them a wide open avenue to just access it. Forget about it.
I think once we go viral, they won't be able, they can't ignore it. They have to look at it, right?
Well, everybody's going to be looking at it, that's for sure. Don't know what they're going to be doing, but everybody else is sure as hell going to be looking.
Bro, what's gonna happen with with Bitcoin maxis? Like,
I don't know, but they're going to be upset. That's one thing's for sure.
I don't want that to happen either because there's a lot of people in it, you know.
I mean, it is what it
worth
is, man. It is what it is. It's like people being stuck on XP,
right.
right? Like, come on, man. Like, XP can't even be used in 2021. So why are you still stuck on that?
Right.
Like, you're not given the option, man. Just pick something else and keep it moving. Like, you got to keep picking the better thing. Like, that's how the world works.
Right. You have to adapt. You know.
Yeah. I mean, look, I didn't want to, and here I am.
Right.
I didn't want to. I came from Wall Street. I did not want to.
I didn't want to get into crypto either. I was reluctant. That's why I, watched it till like 2016.
HEX gave me no choice. Literally.
I,
HEX gave me no choice.
I mean, I knew I wanted something like this because of inflation, right? And I knew what was going on with the macro, and Richard just brought it. And
Yep.
you know the moment like the light bulb really clicked on, and I was like, oh shit, this might be the big one, like the next Bitcoin type deal. It was when Richard was talking to those lawyers, those scumbag lawyers,
Yeah.
and he was talking about fractional reserve lending, and he explained where money really comes from, and nobody was really talking about that ever. No one
Yeah.
understood. Not even Peter Schiff and a lot of people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know, because I know where money comes from, and I don't explain it either because people aren't going to understand it.
Right.
Because they don't fucking know. But I know exactly what you're talking about because I've seen that interview.
Yeah, if guys, if you're new, go and watch that. The guy was like going on like no sleep for like 2 days, and he was owning Bitcoin
Yeah.
agencies and lawyers.
It was crazy. He was shutting them down. It was like Bruce Lee versus everybody. He was just shutting them down, man.
Right. And they were like triple teaming him, right? There was like,
Oh yeah.
it was like 4-on-1 too, and he was
Yeah.
and that's another thing about Richard, right? He's so divisive. If you're like a if you're a bitch, basically, you don't like Richard. That's how I
Right.
see it. But if you're like, kind of like a Chad, like kind of like us, you know what I'm saying? Right off the bat, you're like, this guy's like, he's a little savage. I like this.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was like.
I'm enjoying this. And he's smart, right? It's
Yeah.
hard finding like a techie smart guy who's just savage.
Yeah, it's so true, man. Because they're usually some soy boys and
Right,
shit.
right. You
Fucking
can't find
suck
that
ass.
these days, right? You can't find people like that these days publicly to do that publicly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Exactly. No, 100% agree, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when I found Hex, I was like every other guy. I understood where the money was, and it was in either being a founder or just finding one good early. So I was already doing my learning how to code thing and all of that because I understand. right? Like somebody had to do it, and Richard had already done it. Luckily for me, because man, that thing it's a number one, man. That thing is Hex is a beast, bro. It's a beast.
Right. This is how I think Richard is even smarter than most of us realize.
Oh yeah,
I think he
100%.
plans extremely far into the future.
I would not doubt it.
Every little thing he does is, I believe, timed perfectly. Maybe not perfectly, but let me explain. Let me give you a good example. The first website he had looked cheesy as shit. It almost looked like a 1999 website for HEX. And I'm just looking at this and I'm like, either he literally had no time to make a website, or he purposely made it like this. So no, I'm dead serious. So it would scare off all the other crypto whales, because he didn't want those type of people buying up the supply. He wanted his followers who believed in him and followed him and understood what he was doing to become the whales in the ecosystem. Like, these are the types
I've heard of that. I've heard of that before. I've heard of that.
I believe he did that on purpose. And by the way, the top hat, the candle, the throne, like, even when I first saw it, I'm like, this is a little weird, but I kind of get what he's doing. He needs to stand
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
He needs to stand out. Shit, man, I bought a top hat. Like,
yeah.
it's like a Christmas top hat. I was gonna wear it, but your head gets really hot. I don't know how he wore it. Um, yeah, but it's just little things like that.
Right. I mean, yeah, he finds ways to call attention to himself, right? For me, it was what you stated initially, where he was a little aggressive, abrasive, even if you would like. But I kind of understood because it was a reply, right? It wasn't that that was his natural stance. It didn't seem that way to me anyway.
Well, he's
So,
nice. He's nice if you message him. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to
right.
message him back in the day. He was totally cool and nice and everything. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be a savage when you have to be.
Oh, right,
That's a
100%.
sign of intelligence. Also, he was a Bitcoin maximalist, right? He
Correct.
changed
Yeah, he
his
was.
worldview. That's a huge sign of intelligence if you could actually change your worldview and update it, right?
100%. Yep. 100%. Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of the most critical things you can do as a person, right? Where it's being able to just adjust your way of viewing things, because that's what's really going to take you to the next level. It's not about being stuck on one thing. It's about understanding what that next thing is, right? And for a lot of people, it's hard for them to see. I mean, and that's why guys like us understand that staking is all powerful, right? Like, it does everything for you. I mean, by the time guys figure it out, they're gonna be like, "Damn, I wasted all this time trading in and out of markets, and I'm still at break even, but I thought I was doing good because I was up at once, but now I'm not." Right? And that's just how it works. And that's just how it works. You
Right,
know,
right. And
that's just how it works.
I've explained this, and it's hard to wrap your brain around it unless you're staked. People who aren't staked, they don't understand how this works. As the price moves up, yeah, your bags go up, right, in value. But during the correction, your stakes are buying the dip automatically at the end
Every
of
day.
every day. So
Yep.
the next time the price goes back up to the all-time high where it was, and you saw the value in your portfolio, let's say your bag, the value is actually even greater because of the staking mechanism. It was buying the dips, right?
Right.
And it's hard to see that until you stake and you see the mad gains, even during corrections, right? So,
Yep.
I wish more people would show the staking mechanism to noobs. I really do want to see it, like a new YouTuber to come on and do the tutorials, because people they're reluctant to go back and look at like Howard Dog's old videos, and like Crypto Coffee's old videos, like all the OGs like old videos. People like just don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'll be like, yo, they're people be asking for like new staking videos. I'm like, there's already a ton. Get out of
Right.
here.
It's like, motherfucker, I was making a bunch of them. It's all in the playlist. It's all in
Yeah,
my playlist tutorials, all right?
it's so
But they won't
crazy.
do it. They just won't do it. Like, there needs to be like a website with 24/7 like video rolling of how to stake, and it shows you like maybe I'll do it. I'll try to do it, and someone could put it on like Hex Noobs or somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Where you can send everything.
Yeah, yeah. There is a site called hexnoob.com, I
I
think.
really like it. I really like it. It's got
Yeah, yeah. It's a pretty good. It's pretty good. I went to it when I first heard about it. It's pretty good if I remember correctly.
that's just where I send all the noobs because I don't have the patience, right?
Yeah,
I'll sell it to you, but I'm not gonna like sit down with you. My time's more valuable at this point.
yeah, right. Later.
Right.
Oh man, too funny, bro. But yeah, I mean, people, with the one thing about Hex that is hard for people to grasp is how it's linear in terms of its ROI. And what I mean by that is that just like we're sitting here right now and we've seen the gains that it's done, it's going to replicate that same thing year over year over year because that's how it's designed, right? So just like Hex did what it did in 2020, one, where it did this crazy bottom to top from 0.002 to 50 cents and the big payday to low, right, to the all-time move for uh, Hex at 50 cents, the all-time high. Um, it's probably going to do that again and again and again and again because we've already gone from 10,000 hex per t-shirt to 20,000 hex per t-shirt. What happens when we're at 30,000 hex per t-shirt?
Right. Can you explain that to like the audience? Why it ratchets up, but you can still get the same APY. The problem is you got to buy more hex to get it, right?
Yep, that's exactly right. So what happens is that over time, so the system is designed to mimic compounding, right? So in line with that, what happens is that the system goes up in value every day. So the objective is to get in as soon as possible because that means that once you get in, you start getting paid. And for every day that you're in, there's a day you're getting paid. So you're always making money. Now,
And
yeah,
further you put out your stakes, the bigger the APY daily, instantly. And
correct.
I want people, to understand. So
Yeah,
technically, you want to start your ladder far out first and move back to the present.
right.
You want to
So
stake
you
as
buy
far back
Hex.
up.
Yeah, so you buy Hex, you stake it, and then when you stake it, you're able to pick from one day all the way out through 5,555 days, right? So you have all of that optionality. And the typical advice that people like to give is you stake out the furthest you can, right? So 15.2 years or whatever for most. And then you start building back in, filling in your calendar, your ladder, your staking ladder, as they call it.
Oh,
And
I'm
go
just
ahead.
gonna put it on the screen so people can see it. I prepared
Sure.
all that. As you talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. So what you're showing right now is 15-year supply for the stakes that we have ending in the future on Hex.vision. And that big hump that you're seeing there in the middle, that's a 10-year mark. And then that little hump you're seeing out there, that's about basically a 13-year mark at this point in time because that was a 14-year mark when I showed up. So that's a 13-year mark now because that was the original 15-year mark. So that's what that is. And now you got some more stakes on the other side of that because we're 2 years past that point in time. I mean, man, time flies because I don't remember there being anything on that side of the chart.
Right.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah, so
I made mistakes. I won't lie, like everyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
My first mistake was aping in day one, and I remember listening to Richard. He was like, "Maybe you should dollar cost average." I'm like, "Nah." I was FOMOing already. I'm like, no, that's not how ICO. Like, because I was used to doing ICOs and shit.
Right.
I'm like, no, man, I'm just aping it. That was a big dude. Listen, if I didn't do that and I would have dollar cost average, it would have made such a big difference in my life.
Oh, I bet, man.
And the other mistake was I did not put out. I did actually make a stake the first month, but I didn't put it out like to 555 or anything. I did put it out for like 7 years, and then I started making earlier stakes, and then in 2021 I started throwing out 555s, and essentially more than 40% of my entire hex bag is past the 10-year mark.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so when I found Hex, I kind of understood what the name of the game was to be successful as far as achieving that superstar, return level status. So when I realized what staking was and how t-shirts worked and everything, I just locked my t-shirts away for 15 years, like the max. Like I didn't even think about it. I just knew that's what I had to do. So I did it. So 90% of my t-shirts are for the max duration.
That's a
Period.
lot.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
really
yeah.
devoted.
Oh, I know what the name of the game is, man.
Right. But
You know,
still,
so
like, for someone, I mean, like Richard said, never in history of humankind has anyone locked money away for that
that's
long.
right. That's right. Yeah, but think about it. What if you would have had the option of doing that with your Bitcoin?
Yeah, right. I mean,
Why would you not have that option here and not take it?
imagine loving yourself like so much for not being a dumbass 15 years ago, right?
Correct.
Or 10 years
Yeah.
ago.
And
I
that's
had
the whole point.
right.
Why wouldn't it work?
I had the opportunity when I first found out about Bitcoin to lock it, and right now it would be coming due. Oh man, like how set would you be?
Exactly. So why
Life
wouldn't it work?
generational.
Yeah.
And I want people to understand at some point the price will go so high that you will only scrape off the interest or maybe as much as you need, and then you just keep staking out further and further and further. Just keep rolling over your ladder for decades. Depends how old you are, right?
Right. But yeah, I mean, but think about it like that, right? Why wouldn't you do it? That's exactly why I did it, because I understood that, immediately.
Right.
Like, to me, once I understood t-shirts and all that other jazz, it was a no-brainer.
And listen,
I knew.
here's what's not nuts, right? So you put it out 5555,
Yeah.
and it's a 300. It's a 3x interest off the bat, right?
Yeah.
That does not include the amount of emergency end stakes that are going to happen for the next 15 years.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you're
Exactly.
I don't know, man. We don't know. We really don't. But it could be 5x. It could be 8x.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. We really don't know, and that's the thing. And once we hit that 7.5 year mark, man, we're really gonna find out.
uh, right. And here's the thing: a lot of people who did do 5555, they can withdraw it without nuking any of their principal a year or I don't know what, but
Well, look, if it's a big payday stake, pre-big payday,
oh
they're gonna lose that shit.
yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I hope they play themselves. Yes, sir.
I mean, even if you're tempted, at least wait a few months. Let them all do it to themselves.
Yeah. Hey, all I say is, man, you might as well just wait it out because it's only gonna be juicier. Why would you just push the issue?
But honestly, I think the price would be so high at that point. It's not going to be needed to be done by the people who got in before big payday, right?
Right. I
It's just
mean,
not.
we'll
It's
see,
not.
man. We'll see. Because you just never know.
I mean, I guess if you want to buy a continent or an island, like a big one, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, there's gonna be stakes that are that size coming out, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. That's why I'm laughing because you're joking, but it's a pretty serious comment.
Well, honestly, I'm already thinking about like, I mean, there's a lot of guys we talk about all the time pulling together to buy land and stuff. I mean, we're gonna need citadels. I'm dead serious.
Yeah. No, no,
I
no.
mean,
Don't forget.
see,
The stuff I'm working on is related. It's all, bro. It's all in the process of all of that.
you're
All
you're
everything.
you're lucky you're not showing your face.
Well, what
I'm
can I
already
say?
I'm already fucked.
Yeah, I thought about it quickly, and then I was like, no, we're gonna not do that.
Right, right. But oh, this does bring me back to encapsulated stake. I mean, we might actually see like in a little bit from now, maybe 6 months, a year, I don't know. Everyone 55555, right? Which and then you can't emergency end stake because of encapsulated stakes.
Right.
Meaning,
I don't actually know what the terms are on busting an encapsulated stake. I don't think you can you?
well, so I don't want, I'm not like an expert. I still need to look more into it, but I just recently did look a little into it. Um, you could only do it on a new chain, like you said, and then once you do that, you encapsulate a stake. Uh, nobody could emergency end stake it,
Right.
so it's locked for 15 years, and that's it. And that is gonna just pull all liquid hacks off the order
So
book.
you're just gonna be able to sell it. That's it.
Right, and then you could sell it. So for other people who do want to do shorter stakes, this and that, like it's still all available, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
but in a way, if a lot of the big players within the system want to, they could take a lot of the hex and just make
Lock it
sure
up.
it goes out 15 years. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that's going to do to the APY.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens because when you sit here and think about how much hex is available, I don't think there's that much out there to be kind of, bought up, to be honest with you. Like in terms of T shares, I think there might be maybe a few thousand, maybe 10,000 T shirts, depending on how you break them up, how far out you go and whatnot, maybe 20,000. I don't know. I just don't think there's that much T shirts out there. So I don't know. In terms of liquidity, right? Like, I just don't think there's just that much out there.
Right. I think I saw Crypto Coffee put out like yesterday or the day before a small number. I forgot the number. It was like just it was under 10 million hex was on the order books.
Right.
So
So
right, and after Pulse Chain, I believe that'll get cut substantially down.
it seems like it, yeah.
And
So,
right now, there's a line of people on Coinbase trying to get hacked.
oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, I saw someone tweet about that as well. That
Huh.
people are waiting 10 days or something. That like they cut people off because they can't keep up with the demand or something. I don't know. I'm not
Wow.
exactly what Coinbase is doing,
Yeah. I have
but
no idea.
maybe they have to go and buy more hacks already on Uni or wherever, and they're having a hard time without pushing the price up. I don't know. But
Yeah,
all
well,
of these things are definitely going to play out.
right. Damn, it's crazy, dude. I didn't even know that. That's funny.
Right. So what's your
Interesting.
prediction on PulseX? Like when we could sack for it, and then it should be 2 weeks after PulseX, right? That mainnet goes live for Pulsechain.
I mean, that's what they say, man. I don't know. I just say wait for the big man's word because I'm not gonna make any predictions.
All right.
So I don't
You
know.
know, guys.
It's supposed to be before the year is out, but I don't know. It's not quite looking like it. But at the same time, it could come out of nowhere, just like testnet did. So
Right,
who
right.
knows?
I think it will come out of nowhere, so people can't game it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know what the tokenomics are going to be, so we'll see.
Right.
We'll see. I mean, it's gonna be interesting, I'm sure. So I'm looking forward to it.
Right. All right, man. It's been a hour and a half.
Sounds good, brother.
All right. Hey, thank you for coming on. And any anything you want to say before we end this?
Yeah, man. I just just want people to know that they can all educate themselves to be just as knowledgeable as anybody else.
Right, right. We need more YouTubers, new people. Help us out on Twitter. Follow Whales Only on Twitter. Follow me. Follow everyone. And this is teamwork makes the dream work. And we're all super early. We're all gonna be best of friends. It's been 50. Like we're stuck together for at least 15, right?
For
So,
sure. Yeah.
so let's take over. What else are we gonna do in life, right?
Exactly. Exactly. That's it, baby. That's the mentality.
All right, guys. Well, follow Whales Only on YouTube. Just type in Whales Only and HEX. It should pop up. You guys saw it in the beginning of the video. And peace, right?
Peace. Yeah. Peace.